today we meant to go back into the mid 80s, and some complications arose, to say the least, and our time machine accidentally thrust us into the Middle Ages. So we made the best of it. I hope you enjoy the history lesson, the high history lesson.
The Natural Habitat Podcast. Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast.
That's weird, man. I thought you were always ready.
No, I was born ready. I'm not always ready. I was just born ready.
I was just born ready, and then I wasn't ready for about, 10 or 12 years, and then I was ready again.
Yeah, it comes and goes. It's just one of those things. It's like puberty, you know what I mean? Like, it just happens.
All right, so I see. So you say it like, hey, man, I was born ready, to show confidence, but you may or may not be ready at that moment.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, some people are born males and then end up females later.
Mm-hmm. And they weren't born ready.
They weren't. They weren't ready for that Caitlyn life,
It's true. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is the Natural Habitat Podcast. My name is Mikey Booyah.
My name is Your Royal Highness BLZ Bubbles.
Okay, and we are here for another Throwback Thursday. And before we hop into this time machine, did you hear the news about the DARE organization? I forget what DARE stands for. Drug Abuse Resistance Education or something like that?
No. No.
Anyway, the DARE program that goes around to schools and they send an officer and they teach them about drugs and have the briefcase full of drugs and blah, blah, blah.
They teach them lies about
drugs.
They
teach them lies. But the DARE program has officially removed marijuana from the list of gateway drugs, and DARE officers don't even talk about it at schools anymore. They don't even bring it up. Which is dope.
Good for them.
Yeah, that's like it shows the time that we're living in. There's so much like medical use for this shit, and it's fucking curing cancer and stopping seizures. And finally, the DARE program was like, all right, we're gonna stop, polluting the young children's minds because they're already getting Common Core, so they don't need any of that.
Here's how I look at it too: is the fact that nowadays public knowledge, common knowledge, is marijuana is legal in a lot of states.
Yeah.
So you can't preach one thing to kids and then fucking them watch the news the same night and see that it's legal. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you
and
just can't do it.
All these benefits and everything that's coming from it, and then they're like, "Hey, why? That's kind of weird." You know what I mean?
Yeah. For another thing is, I don't know why we still have a DARE program. It's a joke.
I think
it does nothing but waste people's time and money.
It has something to do with like molesting cops so they can get into schools legally.
Yeah, well, I think that there is ulterior motives with that type of thing. The same thing with therapists at schools. They know that kids are malleable and easily manipulated. Mm-hmm. So they set them up with like setup questions and things to incriminate their families.
Yeah. Look at what happened. Look at what happened to Brandon Avery.
Parents have this at home, or fucking, you know?
Yeah, that happens all the time. It fucking it happened to me when I was a kid, and it happened to my girlfriend. And she said something to her DARE officer when she was young, not even knowing that she was going to get in trouble. She was like, "Hey, my dad has some of that," And it turned into like this whole thing. They told her to go get some from home and like bring it to school.
What kind of fucking bullshit is that?
Yeah,
right?
that's crazy.
Fucking. That's the Antichrist if there ever was one.
Yep.
That's the type of shit I'm saying. It's like
that's some crazy shit.
That's manipulating children before they even have a mind of their own. You telling your kid to go get drugs and bring them to the school? Mm-hmm. That's not keeping kids off drugs, son.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
Putting drugs in their pocket, motherfucker. Yep. That is making a drug deal.
Yeah. It is. It's making a drug deal with little to no money.
Yeah, and then the cops are just smoking your dad's shit.
Because, they fucking gave her some sort of incentive to like, hey, if you do this, then, we'll hook you up, or like you'll be like a little crime fighter or fucking a junior detective, and then she's
we'll
like all stoked. So that's like a drug deal, you fucking trading drugs for something.
No matter how you look at it, it's a drug deal. Yeah. They're asking kids to put them in their pockets and bring them somewhere. Transporting drugs is a fucking drug deal. Whether you're taking them to somebody or to yourself, makes no difference. So the fact that they're asking children, innocent children, to break the law?
Our children.
Unacceptable.
The youth and the future of our country.
These people are a disgrace.
Yep, I agree. But at least they're not teaching the fucking fear-mongering bullshit about weed anymore.
Well, you know what we get to do about it?
We get to smoke about it.
And we get to fucking dip and just go back in time and not have to worry about it.
That's right. Back when we could just get, thrown in jail for smoking weed. Where are we going today? We're going back to the 70s, right?
We're going to Conception. I changed my mind. We're going to go to Conception today. We're going to go to the times. We're going to go to both times when you were created and where I was created, and we're going to just see what that was all about.
All right, cool. That sounds
Are you really into it?
I am. That sounds fresh.
You want to watch your parents fuck?
Not really. I'll watch yours though.
Oh, all right. Well, then, yeah, we'll trade. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll trade off. That's good.
Yeah, good idea.
I got them sometimes. Every once in a while. All right. Well, let's smoke before we do this.
All right.
What are you smoking on today?
I'm smoking on some chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles, huh?
Yeah, that's it's real chicken and waffles.
Dang, that's some heavy fucking Hollywood shit.
Yeah, but look at this shit too, dude. It's fucking so dense I can't even break it. I can It doesn't do anything.
Wow. The fucking veins on your forehead were exploding.
I know,
and
right?
I could see just all the veins, your hand turned red, and that nug didn't go anywhere.
Wow, you expected an explosion, but it just didn't happen.
I thought it was gonna. I thought you were gonna open your hand and it was gonna be gone, and then you were gonna pull it out of my
fucking Super Saiyan in this motherfucker.
I thought you were gonna pull it out of my ear via Skype.
Oh, the fucking old Steve Martin trick.
That would have been cool.
Here, look, watch. Here it is.
We both did it, but with empty hands.
We did a Skype magic trick, and I didn't even see it.
And we didn't even have anything in our hands, neither of us. So we didn't do any magic at all.
I had a pretend quarter, so it was magic.
God, we're bad at magic. All right. We're super bad. Everybody out there, flick your pics, snap your pics, and hashtag them NHP Smoke Sesh. We will all smoke together. Do you have some music queued up for a smoke sesh?
No.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. Because I know that you have one, but it's themed for our adventures back in the past. So
yeah, I don't have one right at the moment, but
it's all right.
I usually download them in the time machine on the way.
Oh, all right. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm just gonna talk. You know what I mean? I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna fill up some time while my hand does some clicking, and I try to find a beat to play while we smoke. So
clickety click.
Yeah, all right. Here we go.
Clickety bick.
I have no idea what this is. I picked this at random, so I hope it's not too horrible.
This one's for you, Mikey.
That was called TV theme shit.
Yeah.
And it definitely had the feel of an old TV theme song.
I felt like I was in junior high.
Yeah.
I felt like I was waiting for a girl to ask me out for Sadie Hawkins, and it never happened.
Mm-hmm. I felt like I immediately regretted my decision right after I pressed play.
Well,
it was too late.
Yeah. No regrets, bro. Know
That's right. Not a single letter. All right, let's hop into this time machine and get the fuck out of here.
I hope it's not raining or anything. I hope it's nice.
I hope it's not raining back in the 80s?
Yeah. That was when weather was still normal. It was pre.
Yeah. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. It was pre-apocalypse.
All right, hold on. All right, I'm ready to go. You ready?
I thought we had this conversation already.
You're right. I got a little caught up in space-time. It happens when we get close to this fucking flux capacitor.
My name is Born Reginald.
All right, let's do it. I'm putting it in. Let's see. What? Hold on. 1985. All right, that's it.
What was that? Pat Sajan.
I don't know what the fuck that was. That was weird. You heard that too?
Yeah.
We must have
that's
passed.
Not normal.
I think we just passed something. It was like Wizard of Oz style. You know, do you not?
Yeah.
Do you never look out the window when we time travel?
No.
Because it's much like a tornado with a lot of things and people that are familiar to us flying by.
Well, it's like they say if you're afraid of heights, not to look down, you know? So, like, when I'm in the fucking time machine, I'm, like, trying not to look anywhere
Well,
because I don't want to get stuck or, like, some weird shit to happen. Most of the time, I'm, like, nervous, you know? We could melt to the time machine or something like the fucking Manhattan Project where those people melted to the ships and everything. You know what I mean? Like, that shit was weird, right?
Yeah. Did you hear about that ghost ship they found where that captain was all mummified and melted to his desk?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. I thought it was fake, but it's real. All right, let's get out of this time machine and go check out the 80s. Oh, shit. Close it up. Close the door. Fuck. Oh, my God,
The
man.
fuck?
There's a fucking dragon outside.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like, I don't know. It looks like a dragon. It's a big fucking bird, and it's right outside of the time
Dude.
machine.
Are you sure it's a dragon?
All right, it's flying. Look, it's flying away. Look out there.
I don't know.
It's gone now. It's over the hill. But I swear to God, I fucking saw that. Where are we, dude? I don't see any buildings. I don't see anything.
We're like in a fucking giant field full of rocks and shit. There's like Stonehenge.
Yeah,
Looks
okay.
like Stonehenge.
Yeah, it's like, it's not Stonehenge, but it's some sort of big collection of rocks. I have no idea where the fuck we are, but let's just go that way. I mean, let's follow this river. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Whatever, man. I think.
Fucking,
Wait a
you
minute.
know what the best thing to do in a situation like this is just to like calm down and get high. I call it a tsunami drill. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do? What do you do when there's a tsunami coming? You get as high as you can, as fast as you can. You know what I'm saying? So
I like that. That's dope.
In this moment, we're at a fucking tsunami drill. So
I feel like we are. I'm tired of this fucking time machine sending us to weird ass places. Are there even people here?
Yeah, I don't know, but
wait, you hear that music?
Yeah, faintly.
I think there's some music over this hill.
Yeah, I think there's too.
All right, let's light up and let's go check it out and see what the fuck we can find over here. I'm sorry, everybody. You know, we didn't intend to do this. We've been having some problems with the new time machine. It's a lot more efficient. We could bring our donuts in. It's faster. It makes a cooler noise, but sometimes it kind of sends us to weird places. So we're gonna try to figure shit out, and we'll get back to you. Yeah, let's follow this music.
I don't know if I want to go over there, dude. Listen to that shit.
Oh my God.
Maybe we should just stay on this side of the hill.
Yeah, let's not go over there. Fuck that. Hold on. I'm gonna go look over the top of the hill. You stay here. All right, let's move. Let's go back down. Dude, you're not going to believe what happened. All right, we went way back. Like, I don't know how far back we went, but we're in like some medieval time shit. Like,
What the fuck?
I saw a castle, like a giant wall, a big like village, all kinds of like peasants and shit.
Do you smell the shit pants?
The shitty pants.
Now that you mention it, I kind of smell them. The shit pants.
Yeah. You know what?
What the fuck?
I feel like, yep. Well, all we had to do was just look down. We need to fucking stop following our rule of not looking down once we get out of the time machine, because remember, we have this new thing from Todd that gives us the attire of the place that we're in. So as I look down, I notice I am wearing some heavy chainmail and some shitty fucking pants.
I was wondering what that jingling was.
Yeah, I thought it was just, you know, my wallet chain that I don't wear anymore, that I abandoned in 2012 instead of the 90s. I wore a wallet chain all the way until 2012. Did you know that?
Fun facts.
Yeah, that's some heavy shit, man. It took me a while to let go of that.
You know, some people just hold on to feelings longer than others.
And do you know how many times I've lost my wallet since I've taken my chain off?
All of them.
0 times. I've 0 times lost my wallet.
Well, I guess that's all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, that could have been right.
Yeah.
Okay,
let's get this fucking smoke session going.
Yeah, let's do it.
Get high and let's go fucking dragon hunting or something, or like Let's just go trip out.
Yeah, because I actually read a lot about the medieval times recently when I was bored and in a Google rabbit hole.
You can help me out on the way.
Yeah, so let's do it. Let's smoke. Let's go head the other way, away from the creepy ass music.
Yeah. I'm just let's just smoke right here next to the time machine and then we'll dip.
All right, dope.
We got the fucking fresh music player in the machine.
All right. You got something queued up?
Got it.
All right, let's do it. Everybody feel free to smoke along with us. We might not be in the same time, but we're in the same
Hey, is it like, I know it's really appropriate, but isn't it funny that the time machine always like has the appropriate music of the fucking moment? You know,
Yeah.
like it says we made it back to 1503 or something, and 1503 something.
Yeah,
I think it was leap year.
Yep. It was a leap year, so 1503 something. And yeah, it always has a mind of its own. That's dope.
Yeah.
I know
dope.
that
was a good song too.
Yeah, it was. I don't know who did that, but it's an amazing track.
I bet my inner Da Vinci was feeling it, and I think that's what it was, because like we're artists of the future.
Mm-hmm.
He was like the OG artist.
Yeah, he was. I actually read about there was a monk by the name of Roger Bacon. This is a real story. All right, I know that it sounds fake because his name is Roger Bacon.
I don't know if Bacon was a surname back then. I don't even think Bacon was a thing yet.
Roger Bacon. Well, I mean, it probably wasn't, pig bacon. It was just bacon. It might have been some sort of surname or some sort of nickname or short for something. You know what I mean?
Like Kevin Bacon.
Mm-hmm. But he was a Franciscan friar who lived in the 1200s from 1214 to 1292.
You should have kept it going and said an attire. He's a Franciscan sire who lived in a tire. A very long time.
It's like a lady in a shoe kind of thing.
Yeah, you could have told like this elaborate story, man. You dropped
All right.
the ball.
Well, here, look, check it out. There's a great thing that we could do on this show, and it's called editing stuff out. So I'm going to edit all that out, and we're going to start it over, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to do it right.
All right. This week on 50 million thousand.
Roger Bacon. Fuck, I fucked it up already. Roger Bacon was a Franciscan sire who lived in a tire and died in 1992 in a fire. So
1992.
1292 in a fire. And the fire burned until 1992. That's why it's the Silent Hill fire that's underground. That's why I got confused. He probably didn't write it. He had a scribe write it. Which reminds me, hold on. I'm going to go back to the radio and the time machine real quick. Jerry? Yeah, Jerry, we're going to need you to come up here and scribe for us. Yeah, hop in the secondary, buddy. Peace. All right, Jerry's on his way. He's going to come and scribe for us because people had scribes back then, and it was like voice recognition software where you would talk out.
Today, yeah. And they would just write it for you, right?
Yeah, they would just write it for you. And it would kind of.
Because most people couldn't even write yet.
Yeah, and, the scribes that could write couldn't write that great, and they couldn't really write down. They would kind of
Hold on, I'm having a light bulb moment.
What is it?
Can you see the light bulb above my head right now?
I cannot. Those are never visible except for in movies and cartoons.
I was trying really hard. All right, the blinky light was flashing in my brain.
Yeah,
and then it paused.
Okay.
And I think that's always like the symbol for like epiphany.
Yeah. Well, what is it? Lay it on me.
The scribes were the original politicians, the original douchebags who were twisting shit up and fucking people over because they're the only ones who could.
You're right.
When the common man couldn't read or write, they had to trust this scribe and hope that he was writing the truth.
Yep. because
When in
you
all
couldn't
honesty,
you couldn't
you
double
had no
check
idea.
it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
couldn't read it and be like, yeah, that's good. And it's the same thing as, priests that used to translate the Bible, and you couldn't read the Bible because it was in a different language. You had to go to church to get it translated, and it was against the law to translate it yourself.
George Bush is a scribe.
Mm-hmm. They're all scribes. And so, yeah, like scribes would write this shit down, and he had a scribe write down in the 1200s that cars can be made so that without animals, they will move with unbelievable rapidity. Rapidity? Yeah. All right. And flying machines can be constructed by which artificial wings are made to beat the air like a flying bird. He also predicted steamships, submarines, and diving suits. So this dude was 300 years before Da Vinci and came up with a bunch of this shit, probably high. You know what I mean?
Dude, what do you think about all that shit?
Like all of Da Vinci's creations and everything?
Well, no, not the premonitions, like the fucking seeing the future and shit.
All right,
the predictions.
What I think is that like every so many thousands of years, I think that civilization starts over, that there's like a big fucking, whether it be like a meteor hits us or some sort of like natural disaster and a huge chunk of the world is wiped out. A bunch of people go and live in caves for 100 years and then they have to restart civilization like monkeys again. And I think that we've had flying machines before, you know what I mean? And that all that shit's just like turned into fucking stone and deteriorated. And
well, there's a lot of evidence of like nuclear glass and like all kinds of things all over the planet.
Yeah, from all kinds of giant
are
fucking...
not really explainable. You know what I mean? You can't just say it was from an asteroid or a comet or anything. So, some device of incredible heat hit and melted sand and made fucking glass, and it radiates. So it seems like a nuclear bomb to me.
Yeah, and it's like, look at how advanced like the Roman Empire was, you know what I mean? With building structures and how fucking extravagant everything was. And then look at medieval times and in these dark ages and shit, like people didn't have information and everything, but everything was real dirty. You wore shitty pants. Your house was made of mud. And it was like, it was almost like a start over, like from the beginning, and then worked up to what we have now. And eventually down the road, we're all going to be living in shit huts with shit pants again because the internet's going to be gone. And that's where all of our information is because we don't write anything down anymore. It's all stored.
So his predictions were pretty bold. Those are really smart ones that obviously came true. Other people that are famous for it, like Edgar Casey, I think he's the most famous ever. And he was able to do it like where he would just put himself to sleep and then he could answer whatever questions you asked in his fucking trance-like state.
Man, that's crazy. I never heard about it.
And he's a fucking beast, bro. He found Atlantis. He found all kinds of shit. He knows like where he knew where all kinds of shit was and nobody would fucking believe him at first until all kinds of shit fucking started coming true. And like the government used him to fucking find shit and all kinds of stuff, dude. It's crazy.
Man, that's nuts.
Yeah, but let's get back to the Renaissance.
All right. What we do need to do while we're here is find some bread, but I'm kind of scared to leave the time machine. So we're going to have Jerry do it when he gets here. But I found out that medieval bread, because summer, they couldn't really grow the grain as good because they weren't really, super keen on agriculture. Like it was in the dark ages. People didn't have information. Like I said, they were kind of just winging it and putting Gatorade on the crops and shit. So they would use old rye to make the bread, but stored rye was frequently infected with some shit that they had back then called ergot. And it was some sort of fungus like bacteria thing that had LSD like properties. Mm-hmm. So you would eat it and it would get you high as fuck, but it would also give you gangrene sometimes in extreme cases and you would die. So,
because it's a fucking,
it's poison. But that's what a lot of, like psychedelic mushrooms, they used to say that it's poison. And that's why you see these things and you experience these things is because you're fighting off the poison and it's your body dying as if you were to get bit by a rattlesnake. You know what I mean? But now the fucking, what's it called? How much you have to consume to die? The LTD rate. Is that what it is?
I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, so you have to consume like 75 pounds of mushrooms to die from it within 15 minutes, which nobody's going to eat 75 pounds of mushrooms in 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's like
impossible.
the same thing with weed. Yeah,
Same
it's
thing
ridiculous.
with weed. So, it kind of was like a mushroom high where you had to risk. I mean, you can get high on mushrooms and never be the same again if you take too many. You know what I mean?
Well, it's all a mental thing. You know what I mean? It's not the mushrooms that make you crazy. It's whatever snaps in your mind.
It's your weak mind, you weak bastard. So get your mind strong. And if you got a strong mind,
do some mind push-ups, motherfucker.
Yeah, I feel like we have moderately strong pineal glands and that we can handle some medieval bread.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
Yeah, lay it on me. And even if it does get us sick and gives us gangrene, we'll just hop back to the future and get that shit cleared up.
Yeah, we got Rod and Todd. I'm sure that they're looking out.
Yeah, they're watching us, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure they got some cameras, bro. They're Jews.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that I noticed over that hill is that everybody wears some super gay ass clothes. As I look down, I noticed that I noticed that these pants are a little tight and a little David Bowie like labyrinthy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just with a big like cock piece, and that was the style of the time. People like to think of, these like rugged, dirty fucking, knights and shit. And really, people in the city wore frilly ass shirts with tight pants with cock pieces and pointy ass shoes.
Yeah.
You see those shoes you got on?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, and you know what? I'd like to check like the fame rate one time. I want to see like if it is like they always try to fucking portray to us, because like in school and shit they always try to teach you like that people were well known at whatever they did, right? Yeah, so like noblemen or like kings, or anybody from the royal families, people of stature, popes, whatever, all that type of shit. How famous really were they at the time is what I want to know. Like Da Vinci, for instance, who was like painting all this shit.
Yeah.
All these things are happening in the moment. How famous was it? How overlooked was it? Because a lot of them didn't even really get the recognition until the end of their lives. So like in their time, what was fame like? It's nothing like today, Like I can't imagine it could have been anything like the history books try to tell us, because of the simple fact that everything was so spread out. There was a small population on the planet. Everything was so spread out so far. There was no way to get anywhere except for by walk or horseback.
Yeah.
There was no fucking, you know what I mean? They say that they used falcons and all this shit for mail and all these things, but how really reliable is that shit? How far are these birds going to fly to take a message? I don't buy it. You know what I mean? Like, it's all cute, and they probably did do things, but I guarantee, like, it's not like they say it was, because, it's just impossible. It's fucking impossible. You can't be that well known unless you're fucking like a pillager or some like.
Yeah, you have to be traveling, and because there's no exchange of information. So
my point is, you have to be like powerful, or
Yeah.
you have to be fucking shit up for people to know about you.
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
I'm sure that like in Da Vinci's case, he probably was like a lot of artists was like not appreciated during his life. You know what I mean? A lot of people.
He was one of the best artists of the time, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody could do what he did. Nobody could get like the things that he did, and he was very well known by like the rich families, and he was commissioned to do all these works, and like they would pay him to live with them for years and fucking do these works or whatever. But he was basically like a bitch, you know what I mean? He was like an art bitch. He was like, they're like, here, come over here, art bitch, do this shit and make the shit nice.
Yeah.
And get the fuck out of here when you're done. And you know what I mean? It's like, and then you have to follow their rules and their beliefs, and people like him and other people were like scientists and wanted like to question things. But back then, if you fucking didn't believe in God, you would be killed and put on the stake.
Yeah,
or
like
some shit, you know?
Yeah, like Galileo was tried for saying that the Earth was round.
Yeah, and then they locked him in a fucking closet for years or whatever.
Yeah, that's some
It's like-
crazy shit, man, just for having an opinion. So, just for
Yeah.
speaking out against the normal thing. That reminds me, did you hear about Tila Tequila's car drive?
Oh my god.
She's gonna fucking drive because she's supporting B.O.B.'s flat Earth theory, saying that the Earth is flat. And then she posted a picture of her in her coat and her beanie and like her bags. And she was all like, getting ready for my car trip. I'm going to drive all the way to the edge of the earth, to the ice caps that are on the edge of the planet. The UN knows that they're there and they can't hide them from us. So apparently she's going to get in her car, drive all the way to the edge of the earth, and
She's on some good drugs, bro.
and fucking take pictures of the edge for us and post them on Twitter so we all know the truth. I can't wait till she does it. It's going to be great.
Yeah. I can't wait till all these people die. Yeah.
Right? It's never going to happen, dude. She's so young. She's so young. She's going to be living forever. She's going to
No, something will happen, bro. She'll fucking crash that car or something on this little drive or whatever or something. You know what I mean? Like, we couldn't be so lucky. Like,
I hope she drives into the fucking
We
ocean.
almost got lucky with Kanye dying early in his career, and fucking he's made it through that damn car wreck.
Mm-hmm. No.
These goddamn wizard medical people.
God damn it. They're
What is
always
this sorcery?
They're always saving the wrong ones.
Yeah, let's take it back to medieval times.
Bring back Aaliyah already.
Yeah, can we get a Shakespeare? You know, I don't want a fucking Kanye.
Right? Well, here's an interesting fact from medieval times that you'll like.
Kanye West was never there?
Kanye West was not there at all.
That's the most interesting fact of the day.
Animals could be tried and convicted of crimes. There's records of animals being taken to court for killing people. Some mice were publicly tried for stealing part of the harvest, and a swarm of locusts was convicted of eating crops.
Yeah, and these are the people that we let run shit.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know how the monarchy became the monarchy?
No, I don't.
A rock fell from space. They picked it up and put a throne on it and declared themselves royal from that day on because they found the space rock.
Dang, for real? It
was meant for them. They have the space rock. They're the fucking enlightened ones. They're the royal family. Everybody else is peasants. You don't have space rock. You're not royal.
Oh, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's a cool story, man. You got space rock though?
Hey, that's like the most I could downplay it, but it's a true story.
That's nuts, man. But I mean, that just shows the mind frame that these fucks were in. And like
God.
God.
He gave me the space rock.
It's like that.
He said, I will be the throne sitter.
It's like that movie, The Gods Must Be Crazy. You remember that movie?
Yeah.
Where it's like the dude and he's like in Africa and someone flies over in a plane and fucking throws a Coca-Cola bottle out the window. And the dude thinks that God threw it down at him. So he goes on this giant journey, this Tila Tequila journey to the edge of the earth to fucking throw the bottle off. And he makes it. He totally made it.
So
God, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
He did it.
Yeah.
So if she
People
just goes.
are such a trip, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To do this, some of the most retarded shit ever. Like, ever.
Just off of this tiny thing, a sign from God. It's always like God sent this to me. And then my whole life is different now.
That came up with God. Because that dude was slick as shit. You know what I mean? Like, that guy was like,
yep.
Yeah, think about it.
He was like, got your gun, China, got your snake oil, and I also got a little bit of Bibles here.
Yeah, he's got you fucking smoking the burning bush and shit.
Yeah.
He's like, check it out.
He was a fast talker for sure.
There's this thing up in the sky, and he sees everything. And he says, if you don't do what I tell you to, you're going to burn in hell. You know?
Look, I know you can't read this, but luckily I can read it for you. All right. This is what it says. Every man's wife needs to perform oral sex on the priest every day. It's God said it. I don't know. God says it. It'll help.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to take the stick in your ass and eat this cracker and drink this piece of wine.
Yep.
I'll give you a fish if you share it with your neighbor.
These are all great morals in the church.
Yeah.
So that's some crazy shit, man. Imagine living in this time and you never know. It kind of all depends on who you run into, what your experience is, and that kind of shapes the life that you would have in this dark age. Because you're kind of just winging it. You know what I mean?
Think about this. You didn't even have free thought or speech in that time because everybody's out to get you. From one way or another, right? Like, you could be chilling with your boy, and you'd just be like, man, fuck the king, man. He ain't giving us shit. You know what I'm saying? We out here eating fucking half piece of carrot. This motherfucker's got all the shit. we can't even hunt a deer. It's against the king's law to hunt a deer. You know, like fuck that guy, man. And then you can't even just have like that thought with your bro, because your bro is gonna be like, yeah, man, fuck that guy, and then he's gonna go tell you the sheriff,
Yeah.
oh, this guy over here is saying fuck the king, man. He's got to go, bro. And you know what I mean? Or like he's trying to like gain his own stature by throwing you down and saying, I love the king. You know, I'll be the king's bitch. You know what I mean? Like that's exactly how it is.
Yeah.
Real. Like, that's how it was. So you couldn't think anything. You couldn't have any of your own original thoughts. You couldn't be like, yeah, I don't believe in God. Or you could be like, yeah, the world's round, or like, or anything. You can't say anything. You couldn't have any type of thoughts because
all you got to say was, sounds good, bro.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, man, I'm on board. That's it. There was no option, because I read that in the medieval times on the English countryside, 12% of the population was free men, and the rest of them were all some sort of worker or slave or, laborer or something like that. And all these people lived within like some sort of village or manor that was owned by some sort of king and fucking,
or whatever the situation.
Yeah, or whatever it was.
Somebody's always the benefactor running shit, and everybody else just have to do whatever they're told.
Yep. And they had to, they pretty much lived in bondage in the lord of, from the lord of the manor. So whoever, like the king or whoever it was, they couldn't leave his service or get married without his permission. So it's like, that's kind of, if you think about it, it's kind of like what it is today. You have to go and get a marriage license to get married. You can't just go get married somewhere and be legally married. You have to be like, hey, I'm going to marry this person. We're going to put this in paperwork, and they got to go, okay, cool, go ahead. So it's like, that's kind of the same shit.
Yeah, you can't even own a piece of property without having power ran to it.
Yeah, you can't do anything without doing nothing. And it's bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's been like that. It's been like that since forever.
And it's because of these assholes. Hey, if we were smart, we'd find the space rock, and we'll be the new kings.
Yep, we gotta get that damn space rock.
I know, fucking space rock.
I
got some facts.
All right,
you ready?
Are you gonna say them or play them?
I'm gonna play them.
Oh, you're gonna let someone else fucking talk facts?
Yes, I'm gonna let somebody spit some facts.
And
Feel
I'm gonna
free to smoke at home.
I'm gonna smirk a barrel.
Smoking a fat cake. All right, here we go. Yeah. Come on.
The term Renaissance is a French word that means rebirth. It refers to a period in art history when scholars rediscovered the value of the individual by studying the ideals and artistic expressions of ancient Latin and Greek authors. This movement was called humanism.
Humanism is another one of these abstractions. Like the term Renaissance. It means many things. What is understood in the Renaissance, studia humanitatis, study of humans, study of the culture produced by humans. It's simply what it means in its simplest terms. Something that's often assumed about the Renaissance is that this necessarily had to have been a time of peace or general happiness.
Thomas Arnold, assistant professor of history, Yale University.
Why else, for example, could someone like, say, Michelangelo have free time and incentive to carve a David if it wasn't a happy age? But the truth, more accurately, is that troubling times, trying times, inspire individual human beings to reevaluate and re-understand and to create anew.
Oh my God, this guy's so boring.
And that was your hip-hop facts for the day.
That guy was boring as shit. Who the fuck was that?
He was smart, though, right?
Like, he was, but I couldn't retain anything he said.
If you listen to what he was saying, he was saying that just because it was called the Renaissance doesn't mean that it was all fucking peaches and cream.
Yeah.
It doesn't, because there was cool things happening, it doesn't mean it was any different from today. Basically, he described what we're living through right now.
Yeah.
So we're in a Renaissance.
Yep, it's true.
If you think about it, you know what I mean? If it all boils down to we're all going through the same shit. We're all being reborn. We're all fucking trying to like become anew and do different things. And, you know, we're becoming independent and we're doing our own thing everywhere. And like times are changing, you know, we got people pushing and going against the establishment like Bernie Sanders. And we got fucking, you know, like we got a lot of crazy shit happening, you know, like if anything, this Bernie Sanders versus Donald Trump shit is some fucking straight up epic Roman time shit. You know what I mean? Like this is some fucking early world politics bullshit. You're seeing the fucking good versus the bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like Julius Caesar versus fucking whoever's good that never had the shot. You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy, bro. And it makes a lot of sense. You know, I really feel like, we probably are going through a renaissance. No other time in history has had the opportunity that we've had to relive our childhood.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like the way that everything has repeated itself from the 80s to back to now and how it's all come full circle and shit. No other time frames had that.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, that is like a process of being reborn in itself. You know what I mean? So, I mean, like that could be a mini renaissance all right there.
Yep. Look
So,
at,
I mean, like they said, there's many meanings, you know, many ways to fucking interpret it, just like anything else.
yep. Look at Fuller House.
Yeah.
Uncle
Fuller
Jesse.
House.
Uncle Jesse still got it.
Uncle Jesse still got it. Yeah. Hey, you know what? All of them do actually. And, yeah, I mean, like shout out to them for doing it. Shout out to Netflix for fucking helping keep the nostalgia alive, you know? Shout out to fucking everybody that's reliving the shit and like following suit. It's really like, it's happening for a reason, man. People are conditioning us right now for a better time that's going to come. We just got to get through this bullshit.
Yep. So, I read a couple other things about legalities and things that are not allowed and things that are, you know, mandatory in these times. One of which is football. They started playing football in the streets with a pig's bladder and very few rules. And King Edward II said, there was a quote that he said, there is a great noise in the city caused by hustling over large balls, giggity. We forbid, on pain of imprisonment, such game to be used in the city in the future. So he outlawed football and was like, you can't do that. You can't kick around pig bladders inside the city limits. But what you can do and what you will do every Sunday is 2 hours of archery. He made every single person, every man in the village do 2 hours of archery every Sunday.
Hey, that's not a bad thing. Because installing a skill in somebody is fucking awesome. Think these people had to fucking eat too, you know? Archery was it was like your only tool.
Yeah.
Besides traps and things like that.
Yep, and that way, if they needed to call, you know, people to battle, they had a bunch of master archers.
Well, yeah, that too.
That knew what the fuck they were doing. And they were supervised to make sure that they all did it by the local clergy. And this was a Sunday when the clergy had a lot of stuff to do. So instead, they were out there making sure people were shooting arrows, which I think they should do more often and a little bit less of the God stuff.
Yeah, sounds like the police of today.
Mm-hmm. Right? Like you shooting your arrows? Better be shooting your arrows.
Isn't so different, is it?
No.
It's like, fuck. Renaissance, everybody thinks like, oh, they're dumb. Or like, they were simple people or whatever. No, they're exactly the same. They just had different shit.
Yep. They also, it was also a delicacy back then for them to eat dolphins, porpoise. And they would mix the blood of a porpoise with oatmeal, pepper, and spices and boil it inside of the porpoise's stomach and serve it to royalty. And it was like caviar. It was the top shit. But now everyone's all like, you can't eat a dolphin, even though we all eat tuna, which is dolphin meat. And dolphins are going to take over the planet because the ocean is bigger than the land and the dolphins are smart as fuck. So
that's cool. They like us though.
No, I think they're just coaxing us in the water so they could rape us.
Nah, they like us.
Dolphins are rapists.
Yeah, they only rape each other.
Yeah, you're right. And like, you know, they rape fish too.
Yeah, but they see us and they just want to kick it.
Yeah, they kind of just fuck around and squeak at us, which is cool.
Yeah.
That's is there a weed reference in Cocoon? Because that movie was dope. You remember that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I need to watch it and see if I can find one.
Uh-huh.
That could be a good one. Well, I mean, either way, this is a fucking crazy time to live in.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really think about differences. It's better to think about similarities, I think, you know. Now that we've taken the time to come back and check it out, and it's like, yeah, really, you know, people have never really been that different. We have all had the same problems, you know. We've always had the same things going on, the same thoughts and feelings, and I think we just have better ways to express them now. That's all.
Yeah, and people have never really been free. I mean, even you know, way back now, way back
even
then,
though
way back now.
even though we're not free, but we're still free.
Yeah, we're free, but we're not free, and it's like, you know, we're
freer.
Yeah, we're bound, instead of being bound by, you know, the king and having to do what he says, we're bound by the dollar and having to, you know, pay our bills and pay our rent so we have shelter. You know, shelter doesn't cost, you know, $1,300 in the wild. It costs trees and fucking, you know, you just build some shit and then you live there. So, you know, that's kind of, you know, people think, you know, medieval times you can have like, you know, if you're living on the countryside, you got like a farm with your family and fucking blah, blah, blah. But you don't have this farm that you own. Like, that's on someone's land. You have to pay taxes. You have to fucking give them so much of your sheep every winter or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
there's all this shit that comes along with it. Everything's got baggage.
Yeah. So we're really just in the same struggle.
Yep. All over again. Just still doing our thing.
Yeah. But we got our flying machines and our diving suits now.
Yeah. And we got a time machine. So
thanks to Roger Bacon.
Yeah. Roger.
All right. You want to get back to the present time?
Yeah, man.
All right. Let me poop this in real quick. Let me make sure I do this right this time. 2016.
Pat Sajak.
All right.
I'm glad fucking Pat Sajak was with us.
Yeah, Pat Sajak, he keeps us safe.
Yeah, he keeps us safe.
Pat Sajak.
Pat Sajak.
Good old fucking Pat Sajak. Yeah, man, that actually turned out to be a good trip. You know, sometimes
it was fun.
We made the best of it. Some flukes happen. We're gonna have to go back to the time of creation and watch.
You saw a dragon?
Watch each other's parents fuck later.
you got to see the dragon?
I did. You know what? I didn't see it breathe any fire though, so it might have just been a bird.
Or had heartburn. You never
Pat
know.
Sajak.
Oh,
it could have been Pat Sajak.
Pat Sajak.
I didn't mean to play that time. It's doing its own thing now.
Damn.
Pat Sajak wants to be part of the show. So, maybe he's going to be our third host on the next episode.
You never know.
You never know. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm glad that we all made it home safe. We'll see you later. Peace out for Unknown and
Pat Sajak.
And myself, Mikey Booyah. We'll see you next time.
The Natural Habitat Podcast.